and welcome back to another Lee's Corner. Thank y'all for coming back with me today. As you know, there's been a lot going on today. I think the first thing we want to talk about is Ruth Bader Ginsburg died. Now, I usually don't start off political in anything that I'm talking about because I just don't. But this was a very interesting figure in the history. She was all about women's rights and all women's rights, and she has been on the Supreme Court for, 30 years or more. And she is a liberal in a time where we have Trump trying to run rampant with all these conservative judges that he can put on the bench, which would, basically set black people back another 50, 60 years. A lot of people don't think we've even come up that far, but we have come up that far. So y'all should, she died, which is going to be a sad moment in history at this point in time. And we need somebody to fill her seat. And like I said before, this is going to be a rough going of it. But anyway, now, let's go ahead and start our show. Just wanted to pay a little homage to her, because she did work for women's rights and she did do her thing. Up until, fighting cancer at the very end, and so forth and so on. I didn't get a chance before to talk about my man Chadwick Boseman, who died recently as well. I was going to give a little small tidbit on that. They say that a lot of people had interesting things to say about him before he died, making fun of his Facebook page, his Instagram, when they show pictures of him looking skinny and frail and things of that nature. And, a lot of people are like, that just goes to show, you shouldn't talk about people, until you know their whole life, you don't know what's going on. And that's true in some cases, but we have to realize this is social media. You always got people out there that's going to say something. It could be someone who is a princess. It could be somebody who's a king. It could be someone who's done everything right. And you're always going to get people because people love hiding behind no pictures, no names of themselves and critiquing others. So I don't think we should take people who talked about Chadwick Boseman in any kind of light, because a lot of people just sometimes just like to talk. Now, there was a guy who worked with him on his last movie who thought that he was being a little bougie because he had like a Chinese man massaging his shoulders and his wife was massaging his feet. And he said he talked to his wife about it. And she said, how was it meeting Chadwick Boseman? And he said, well, he has a little entourage there, so I thought he was being somewhat bougie. Little did he know that they were there for support because he was fighting cancer. And people was all talking about, that's something that we shouldn't talk about people unless we know the facts. And I want to say something about that guy who said that. I understand where he's coming from, because if you ever been on a Hollywood set, you always hear these stories of people with these outlandish things that they want. I want 1 million flowers in my dressing room. I want a such and such. So it's easy to see people. And he said he thought this Wakanda stuff had got to his brain, or he really thought he was a king and stuff. And that's easy for people to see when you live in a bougie, pampered world like Hollywood, when they cater to you at your whim to give you anything. It's easy to confuse those things. So, I hope they really forgive that brother for that, because, anybody could have made that same mistake. And, people are like, well, that just goes to show you don't judge. We all secretly judge. That's a fact. We all secretly judge folks when we see certain things. That's just a fact. And he just happened to jump to the wrong conclusion this time, but he could be right about the next guy. And it's just something your brain does when you see these particular things. So let's go ahead with our show. We got a lot of stuff going on today, y'all. A lot of stuff. Just wanted to get that out of the way. We got a lot of stuff going on today. And I wanted to jump off by saying a couple of things. I have a message for white people. I don't know why y'all so scared of us. We have been with you people here for over, 400 years? And it seems like you're so angry, coming to kill us. They talk about all the militias that have been starting with white people, all these new militias that have been starting up. And I'm proud to say that my brothers have taken up arms too. They got militias. We got black militias starting up, because we realize that we do not want to be killed and murdered by these people by not having our own, I guess you could say, security force. So I'm glad black people starting to pick up arms, but white people, we're not your enemy. We're not your enemy. We should be, but we're not your enemy. We've been here for 400 years. 400 years. And y'all still acting like we some foreigner that came over here to do something to you. We was bought here. We didn't want to come here. We was bought here by you. That's the funny thing about this situation. People act like we just got here yesterday and taken over. And all of this based on the fact that white people want black people to suffer in silence. They want you to die. They want you to be quiet. Want you to do all of this in silence. The minute you pick up your head and say, I am somebody and you ain't gonna treat me like shit, they bring out guns. Oh no, we can't have you talking. We can't have you defending yourself. We can't have you coming out here speaking against us. See, now you're trying to start some shit. Taking down our flag, taking down our monuments. Monuments that were for hating black folks, slave owners, slave killers. This is what, and like I said before, when white folks tell you who they are, believe them. Now, another thing I'm against right here is I hate black folks. I don't hate black folks. I hate this saying. I see a lot of this on Instagram and Facebook, and this is nothing against for you people who do it, but please stop. We don't, because it looks like you're kowtowing. Please don't take my black pride as I hate white folks. I love my, no, stop right there. Stop. That's not needed nor wanted. That's not going to stop the white people that already hate you from hating you. They're not going to all of a sudden say, oh, well, damn, Marcus does like me. Katie does like, no, that's not. They're going to like, fuck you, nigga. That's what they're going to say. You're preaching to the wrong people with that message. Don't let my black pride fool you. I still love my white people. You ain't got to say that. When have you had white people say, hey, don't let my white privilege fool you? I still love my black peoples. Now, see, that's what needs to be out there. But how many of those messages do you see? We're always kowtowing, trying to reassure white people, hey, for all my friends, I'm cool with y'all. We cool. No, stop it. I said this from the very beginning of my show when I started years ago. You know who you are. If this message touches your little heart, then you the motherfucker I'm talking about. I used to have white people all the time believe, you know I'm not like that. Well, I'm not fucking talking to you. Why are you talking and squeaking in my ear if I'm not talking about, well, you said all white people. I said racist white people. And if I did say all white people, are you in that category? Then why are you worrying about it? If somebody say nigga on the street, I'm not going to turn around. Yeah. Because I ain't no nigga. So why you turning around when I pull your chain? If you are not part of that group, then why are you acting like you are? That's all I'm saying. Everybody sitting up here, well, you know, we need the white community. We don't need the white community to do shit. If they want to join in, cool, that's great. But all this, well, you know, my friends, I still have my white friend. If they know, look, if y'all friends, then what's the problem? You ain't got to keep it. You ain't got to keep telling them you're your friends because you put pro-black messages on your thing. If they have a problem with you taking pride in your race and they got a whole fucking system dedicated to pride in their race, then they're the motherfuckers with the problem, not you. Good grief. Why, let me paint this picture for you. White people been waiting for this for so long because you got to realize white people don't have shit to do. A lot of people, they ain't got no, white people, you got to realize they ain't got no cause to fight. They have nothing to do but sit there all day. It's just like the 60s, 50s, 40s, and 30s. What was they doing? With white women in little clubs. I'm like, oh, well, we should do something for the Africans. Let's start our day club and let's send some clothes to the Africans because you know those little punch monkeys don't have any clothes. This is what it came to because they had nothing else to do. You won. You took over everything. You have nothing to do. So they create shit for themselves to do to make themselves feel better. That's the bottom line. Like, for instance, I'll give you for instance. You think Lee blowing smoke? Let me tell you what I'm talking about. There was a group of people, y'all know the maskless movement that Trump has going on with all these people that don't believe in wearing masks, right? These motherfuckers skipped their little happy asses through several targets in Florida without masks. Mass protest, we're against masks. These are the stupid shit that white people do because they have nothing else to do. Rebelling for the fun of rebelling is nothing. That's how little they have to do in their own life. That you want to rebel against something that's there to save your life. That's what we're dealing with here. You got to rebel against something that's there to save your life. I'm going to hop my happy ass through the damn Target with no mask on, trying to make a point. You ain't in bondage. You ain't suffering because somebody asked you to wear a mask. First of all, they're asking everybody to do it, not just you. You can't compare it to slavery. You can't compare it to Jim Crow. You keep talking about you taking my rights, you're taking my rights. Taking your rights, what are you talking about? But like I said, this is what happens when white people have nothing to do. You don't have no... Look, you're at the top of the food chain. You're the white shark. We don't know natural predators. So what do? You make up shit to be pissed off about. You make up shit to say this encroaching on my rights. Can you imagine if black people did the same fucking shit? Do you know why they don't have national mandates? You want to know why they don't have national mandates on wearing masks? Because white people are against them. Not all, but enough for it to be a problem. And damn it, if I have to throw down a white person, see, those are soft targets. Whites, Chinese, Jews. These are soft targets. We can't throw them to the ground like we can black people. We'll throw black people to the ground for not wearing a mask correctly. But we can't do it to soft targets. Like white folks, Jews, and Chinese or Asians. We can't do that to them. That's why there's no mandated. Because if you catch a white person doing it, you have to treat them the same way. Oh, there's going to be a motherfucking backlash. You best believe. Oh, there's going to be a backlash. You're going to see white folks in the street with M16s, MR14s, all this other kind of shit they got. Oh, they're going to be upset. They're going to be irate. And last thing America wants to see on TV is you killing other white folks. Especially other white folks that think they're fighting for their rights. See, it's different if you white and you in Black Lives Matter. Oh, they can beat you up and down one side or the other. Because you're a race traitor then. And the cops see it. Oh, you race trading motherfuckers. I'm going to beat you just for you being with these niggas. I'm going to beat the fuck out of y'all. See it on the news. Y'all see it on the news all the time. Beat the fuck out of these little white kids with these batons. They ain't even doing white kids to stand there. They're just going to beat them for the hell of it. Because they were black folks. I remember I had a friend named Chad that said every time Lee, what are you talking about police brutality? I went to prison for so many years. Who was you hanging with when you went to prison? I can almost guarantee you the friend I went to school with, Chad, a little drunk motherfucking white boy, talked a lot of shit about everybody, hung around black people all the time, but called them niggas behind their back because I was there when he said it. But he gonna sit up here and tell me, I went to prison, you didn't go to prison. Who's you hanging out with, Chad? See, what happens is, when you are hanging out with a lot of black people, cops start keying off on you. And then they'll consider that white boy dirty, just like the black guys. So then they start treating you just like the black guys. And the white boys wonder, what the fuck going on? I'm a white. Yeah, once you hang out with us enough, they don't see you like that no more. You are a race traitor. Same way you see these white folks in line with Black Lives Matter getting their asses whooped. That's what they look at. That's what they're doing it for. So yeah, there you go. The mask people. Fighting for not wanting to wear a mask. Like I said before, I'll say this one more time. Some people deserve to die. Now, I'm not saying I want people to die. But if you want to be that stupid to where you go against medical advice that tells you not to wear a mask, something to lose a mask can save your life, and you want to fight against that because you want to go party or you just want to go against whatever, please feel free. Just stay the fuck away from me. Feel free. Go. Don't wear your mask. Go, please. We don't need no more idiots. Go ahead. Do your thing. Now, you're on a ventilator in 6 months. I'm sorry. Yeah, I don't want to hear your mouth. Too late now. Ain't got time for it. What else we got here? Oh, okay, so we're going to go back into the situation real quick about how you keep hearing the right-wing people talking about we don't need the violence, we don't need the burning of the buildings. Trump, all the buildings are going to stop. You're going to stop. Because, like I said before, police are here to protect property. That's a law. They're not here to protect you. They take an oath to protect you. It's in the Constitution for them to protect property. That's why these motherfuckers only really come out when property is being destroyed. But you know how funny it is that they don't really do the law unless they want to. They don't enforce the Constitution. They big Constitution buffs. But see, when it comes to them, but when it comes to black folks, 3/5 of a man, they ain't doing shit. Remember what too long ago, they was burning crosses in your yard, burning down your houses, blowing up your churches with black children inside. But nobody seemed to care about property being vandalized, destroyed then, did they? Who was coming in to deal with this? Oh yeah, the FBI might have came in and got one, maybe two people. But this happened throughout the Jim Crow South and before, just terrorizing black folks. But that was okay because it was black-owned stuff. Tulsa, Oklahoma, burning up Black Wall Street. Places in Detroit, bombing buildings where black people stay. In the South, burning crosses on people's lawns that would sometimes burn people's houses down. Blowing up churches with black children in it. All that's property last time I checked. The difference is you wasn't burning down or blowing up white property. Now see, I'm not one for destroying any property, but I will say this. When they went down here and got smart and destroyed this shit over here in California in the rich area, and they did this shit in DC and whatever, it got attention, didn't it? All these motherfucking businesses you never heard of. I was like, we with you. Then why the fuck didn't you say anything until your business burned? Why the hell didn't you say that until your business got vandalized? We ain't heard of you. You ain't been on no damn news. You ain't been on TV. You ain't been on podcasts talking about I support Black Lives Matter. I support black lives. Not once have we heard from you. Now all of a sudden, in California, other places, oh, they got ads, articles, everything. Black this, black that, black this, black that. No, stop it. Don't try to come in there now and say save face and say this, that, the other. Now I'm gonna try to get through this as quick as I can because I got a lot to say about this shit. I've been holding it in for a long ass time. They were talking on the news the other day about, gay rights and so forth and so on. We got to protect gay rights, and with Ruth Bader gone, it's gonna affect the courts and rights and all that kind of stuff. Look, it's really weird for me because, like I said before, gay rights is one thing, but that's just like, I have a question about gay rights. You have rights as an individual, but then you want rights as a gay person or gay people, trans, lesbian, whatever, right? So if that's the case, shouldn't I be able to have human rights as a human being, and or should I be able to have, civil rights as a black person and human rights as me being a black male? Because that's what gay people are getting. You already got rights for being whatever individual you are, whatever you claim to be, male, female, in between, I'm not either, whatever. You got that rights, but then you got gay rights or trans rights or les rights. Am I correct? So I should be able to have, if black people should be able to fight for, rights for black folks, whatever that's called. We're going to fight for black rights, but I also want my individual rights. We get two sets of rights because honestly, that's what gays are getting, am I not? Gays, the LGBT community, they got already one set of rights because they're human beings, they're a person, but now they're fighting for gay rights. So you're fighting for your group. I'm fighting for my gay rights group. All right, well, I'm fighting for my black rights group, as in the black folks, and I'm fighting for black male rights. That's another group. So we should be getting some fucking rights too. We need to jump on the coattails of the LGBT and say, hey, okay, why don't we fight for our damn black male rights? Because obviously we ain't getting them motherfuckers at all. Because they killed us in the street. Well, we ain't nothing. Another quick thing that comes to my mind here before I run out of time is, I was thinking, do you guys remember in the 80s when the cops were scared of black people? Y'all remember that shit? They were still fucking with us, don't get me wrong. But they were usually going in gang territory, They was always complaining and, we outgunned, we out this, remember all that shit? It's almost like that went on a lull. And then all of a sudden they came out of the blue and said, okay, we can't really fuck with the gangbangers because we outgunned, we outmanned. So you turned yourself to criminalizing every innocent, unarmed black person in the U.S. If y'all notice that, take time to let that sink in. Let it sink in. From the 80s till now. It's all about gangs and violence, right? Okay, we can understand that. Because like I said, we just as scared as the criminal that you're trying to arrest, that we just as scared as the criminals you are. For some odd reason, people think black folks ain't scared of criminals. And that's because they think we're all criminals. We're all friends. We ain't no more friends than the white serial killers that you got out there. We ain't no more friends than you are friends with the guy that massacred everybody in Nevada at that place. We ain't no more friends than you friends with the motherfucking dressed up like damn Joker that shot everybody in the theaters. Or the white dude, Dylan Roof, that went to a black church and shot it up. Now, all y'all white people, are y'all friends with them? Right, but for some odd reason, we know every bad guy and we friends with, no, we hate the same criminal element you hate. But for some odd reason, we know the motherfuckers. Y'all think we friends. So for some odd reason, well, it ain't no odd reason. It's because you got more Klan members and more right wing motherfuckers that joined the police department who decided to criminalize every black person unarmed. Because that's people we can kill and get away with. And the judges that we have allow it by saying, well, you should follow what they said. Well, of course, people are going to question authority when they didn't do nothing. Or you're trying to throw me over my car because I had a broken tail light. Or because you didn't like the car that I was in that day. Or because I made a light, or I put on my left signal when I should have put on my right signal. These are stupid offenses and people shouldn't die from them. But because you feel you shouldn't be questioned and you're not being allowed to go into gang touring no more and kill them, you choose to start killing innocent black people. And we have judges and committees that allow us to go and get y'all off on these infractions by saying, well, they did give the order. You did move your hand towards your waistband. You did get upset. You did do this. And then when we do everything right, we still get shot. Well, he scared the officer. Or he did this. Or pay him off $12 million. Y'all motherfucking something else. But that is what happens. Oh, my goodness me. All right, well, let's go into some other things that's going on in the news today. I don't know if y'all heard about this, but there is a black kid. Let me see where it was. Let me see where it is. Where is it at? There is a black kid. Trying to go through my notes. Okay, fuck it. There's a black kid that who was 12 years old, same age as Tamir Rice was when he got gunned down in a park. He was at school and wasn't paying attention in art class. A teacher saw a gun, which was a green gun that said mutant killer with a pink tip, so we know it's a toy gun. So she called her principal. Her principal called the police to go to this boy's house. Now, I don't know if he went to jail, but they went to have a talk with the parents or whatever has happened. They suspended the boy from school for bringing a gun to school. Now, let me explain to y'all. The damn school is virtual. We're not even in school. It was on a computer screen. I'm sitting here like, oh, my damned. But I can't be surprised because what you have is a system, and this is what we call systematic racism, a system based on people being able to call and make stupid complaints like this, and even lie to say you brought a gun to school, which he did not because it was virtual, which means we were having school on the computer, wasn't nobody at school, and the gun was clearly marked as a toy gun. Now, you got kids in COVID for 4 and 5 months. They're not going to be paying attention all that much when they're doing virtual learning. We already know that. But that wasn't the point. She was pissed off. And the fact of the matter was, we are trying systemically, continuously, and this is what I talk about racism for, systemically trying to criminalize black men. We trying to put a mark on their record before they can even vote for stuff that don't even make sense. Now, I know his parents are going to get a lawyer. I know they're going to fight it. I just hope they sue the individuals. I hope they sue the school system. I hope they sue the woman that called the principal. I hope they sue the principal. I hope they sue the cops if the cops did anything. I don't know if they did or not. But this is ridiculous in so many ways. But once again, systemic racism. We got it all the time. Happens all the time. Now, let me jump to something you guys may love. I know you guys recently heard about the sheriff out here in California that 2 cops were shot by a black person in their car. Now, like I said, I don't condone violence, but I understand it. In Compton, and the Metro Rail track. Now, look, as a cop, as a black person, and I did this in Cop Killer. You know, if y'all ever want to go see Cop Killer, Phoenix22rising.com, y'all might want to check it out because I covered this. As a black person, wherever we go, most of us, wherever we go, white part of town, black part of town, our head is always on a swivel. We always looking around. A lot of people always ask, why you always looking around? Because you got to be ready. Shit. My people might fuck with me. Your people might fuck with me. I got to have my eyes open. You got to be ready for everything. That's how it is to be black. You always got to have your eyes open. You can't never just be calm and chill and just be like, just relax. Once relax. Don't you know stress is the #1 killer of all black people? Racism is killing us. That's a fact. Go look it up. Because we always have to have our head on a swivel. We always looking around, making sure everybody looks okay, and make sure ain't nobody coming at us the wrong way. We always. It's not paranoia. It's fact. And you would think two cops, especially in the era we going off of, where you got brothers-in-law enforcement that are killing niggas left and right, putting their knee on people's necks, snuffing them out. You think you would have your head on a motherfucking swivel, looking out for the great comeback. Because like I said before, when you kill others, that brings out the crazies in everybody, because you crazy too. Crazy attracts crazy. It's a fact. Crazy attracts crazy. The funny thing about this is that the sheriff here, Alex Venezuela, challenges, he challenges LeBron James to match reward money for the gunman who ambushed two deputies. Now, why would he challenge, the sheriff challenge LeBron James to do such a thing? What would he challenge him for? I'll tell you why. Because you know that LeBron James is a Black Lives Matter person. He knows that he's a person that's behind Black Lives Matter, that he basically reformed the NBA. He's very outspoken about the police killing his people. So what he's trying to do is back him into a corner. If he outright says no, see, you didn't like the police, no way. You didn't like the police, no way, blah, 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 blah. But if he says something else, then if he says yes, then he's a sellout. I'm like, you have no right to ask LeBron James to do anything. Oh, but then Kobe Bryant's wife got into it. Talking about how dare you try to talk to this man this way. When your own department went to my husband's site where the wreck of Kobe Bryant's helicopter was, taking pictures and leaking them to the press. You can't even keep your own people under control. And I'm like, yeah. I was like, look. I'm like this. We'll give some money to your cause the minute you start giving money to families and start chastising and dealing with the rogue cops in your unit that's been killing black folks for centuries. How about you do that? But see, that's, oh, there we go. My alarm went up. There we go. But that's my whole point about the situation. The ball's on this man to sit here and dare ask LeBron James to match me. To match our money we putting out a reward for your people. This is what the LA, this is what the LA sheriff, this is what they think of black people. We so stupid. Look what all they got right now. They got a $300,000 reward out. Okay? They got the LA sheriff office. They got the FBI. They got the state, what do you call them? God, I can't think of the name of them now. The U.S. Marshals. All these people out looking for this one black person. But when black people get killed by the cops, we don't know nothing. We'll think about it. We'll get back with you guys. There you go. Just that simple. Okay, guys, we're going to take a break, and we'll be back in 2 and 2. And, yeah, we're back in 2. But, yeah, we're back in 2 and 2. And y'all check out this nice trailer coming up here. Y'all really going to like this commercial. And we back in 1 minute. 2 minutes. You know, I can't remember who met who first, or who fell in love with each other first. All I can remember is the 6 of us always together, until we weren't. I also remember my friends broke my neck, my back, and my jaw. And there will be a reckoning. Hello?
Welcome home, Chris. It's time for some fun.
What the fuck you want from me, man?
Last night, 2 people were brutally murdered.
You must have pissed somebody really off.
He was stabbed 7 times. That's not pissed off, that's enraged.
For years I've been wanting to tell you how sorry I am for what we did to you.
Do you think he's gonna really want to see you? Look, he's paralyzed because of you. He walks with a limp because of you.
Help me out. How does he have an alibi for everything?
I don't know. I mean, how can you catch a guy who has a private plane? How can you catch a guy, you know, who disappears like smoke?
You're the only one with motive enough to kill these 5 victims.
I mean, it's not about what you know, it's what you can do.
Lamar! We got him.
It's over, Maria.
Steven is a red herring. But you know that already, right?
Maybe. But it's not what you know. It's what you can prove.
And we're back. Thank you for coming back with us, people. All right. Last night we were talking about LeBron James and the stupid ass LA sheriff that went in on. Oh, Jamel Hill went off on him. We had so many people that went off on this dude. Jamel Hill was basically saying, my take on this is if a sheriff, Venezuela or whatever his name is, shouldn't be using a cold-blooded shooting of 2 officers to bully a celebrity and further a bad narrative that demanding police accountability means you sanction violence against police. That's what Jamel Hill said, and it was well said response to the LA sheriff who was talking about LeBron, which was ridiculous. And I already told you that Kobe Bryant's wife went off on him too. So I don't think he's going to be talking too much more shit, personally. Dave Chappelle already jumped on this heifer one time before. Look, I don't like speaking ill about black people, but this Candace Owens chick, my goodness. As my friend Eric would say, don't make no more of these hoes. Don't make no more of these. Candace Owens, a conservative author and activist. This is what she said about the shooting. Candace Owens blames P-Brain LeBron James and Black Lives Matter for Saturday night's ambush of 2 Los Angeles sheriffs for stirring up anti-police sentiment. See, this is what happens when black people start believing that they're actually part of the white civilization. See, the problem is these particular black people, her and Larry Elder, they all on the same. They have not have this happen to them, so they feel like it's okay, and everybody else is every other black person just making it up. Or it has happened to them, but they've made so much money tearing down their own people that it no longer matters. See, there's so many black superstars on the Democratic side that you can't shine anymore. So there's been a lot of black people decide to make money off of trashing their own people and going to the right wing side. I've been noticing that. That's what they're doing. Writing books, getting people. Because white people, certain white people, love to see other black people trash their own. Because then they can sit there and say, I told you I was right. Your own black people saying the same damn thing. See, I knew. All these black people up here lying. See, because your own are coming out and saying the same thing that we said. You're full of shit, you're full of shit, you're full of shit. That's basically why it's like shooting yourself in the foot. But like I said, it is what it is. In Louisville, Kentucky, they have agreed to pay $12 million to Breonna Taylor's the 26-year-old EMT killed by police 6 months ago to settle a wrongful death lawsuit. Family attorney Samuel Allegra confirms. So Breonna Taylor, they settled for $12 million. There were stipulations put on this taking of $20 million. They made a lot of changes to the police department. They're doing this. But they have not arrested these guys yet, and the family is not done. They said they still going for charges for these men. They're still looking for charges for these men. They're still going for it. So I agree, and I hope that they do. For my last thing I would like to say is if there wasn't such a thing as white privilege and people talking about, they kill just as many white people as they do black people and all this other kind of bullshit they do. Here's a news story for you. Tulsa police video shows white driver resists cops and shoots them both, killing one and lives to tell the story. Why does he live to tell the story? Because like I told you, we don't kill soft targets. White people, Asians, Hebrews. No, sorry. That's black people. Jews. Oh, so sad, so sad. Once again, I'd like to thank everybody for coming out here to listen to another Lee's Corner. I like to spread a little truth, well, nothing but truth, during this time of COVID and everything else. You might not get a lot of black media around here willing to tell you black people and white folks the truth about what's really going on in the world today. Everybody's too political. Well, I'm not a political person, and I like shooting from the hip and telling you what's going on from my gut. This is all from a black perspective, as per usual, because that's what's going on today. It's from my perspective. It's the only one that matters. I don't care about nobody else's perspective. We've heard about everybody else's perspective for 400 years. Now it's about my perspective and our perspective as a black people and a culture. So I would like to say thank y'all for joining me, and please join me again on the next Lee's Corner, where we talk about the things you want to talk about.